whether God is real or whether God is a man-made idea, what does the idea of God do to people? Sometimes it makes people go to war. Sometimes it makes people behave themselves. Whatever it does, if you take that out.
Yeah.
So if what believing in God was doing was making people keep it together because they didn't want to go to hell, when you remove that, why wouldn't they break all those rules that you just established were wrong? Why wouldn't they?
Welcome, modern day mystics, fellow truth seekers, James and Justin, back at it again, helping you to better connect with this divine yet somewhat peculiar reality we all find ourselves in. We had a great response from our last Osho video that we did. Osho, he's one of those entertaining gurus, so we're going to do another reaction video, and this one was by request. It's called Strang Consequences. It's kind of comedic, but maybe I should preface it with like a warning advisory. If you have a hard time with like swearing and stuff like that, this video might not be for you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a comedic take on something, trying to hammer down a higher point or a stronger point.
Mm-hmm. Spiritually incorrect. See that?
When Friedrich Nietzsche declared God is dead, fuck became the most important word in the English language.
The problem is, if God is dead, then you lose the most important word in your language, and you will need a substitute.
I think he's trying to make a point right off the bat, is like the concept of God being dead. Well, okay, you can go that root culture, but what are you replacing with it?
Yes.
I think that's
No, I that just makes perfect sense to me, is the idea that like, okay, well, this is the scaffolding that has built culture, and now we're taking it away. What's, is it just going to stand on its own?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
And God was one end, one extreme. And when one extreme disappears from your mental vision, the necessary and inevitable is that you will fall to the other extreme. And that's what has happened, Milarepa.
So has society gone to the other end of the extreme with this whole God is dead thing? Leave a comment in the box.
Instead of God, fuck has become the most important word in our language.
Has it?
Even if Friedrich Nietzsche comes back, he will be surprised. And he will try to resuscitate. Somehow the dead God back, because this is stupid.
So I think he's saying that even if Friedrich Nietzsche, he might renege on what he said about the whole idea of God being dead if he came back and he saw what we had done with, language or the replacement of God.
Right.
Right.
But you will need a whole report on it, a whole research. One of the most interesting words in the English language today is the word fuck. It is a magical word. Just by its sound, it can describe pain, pleasure, hate, and love. In language, it falls into many grammatical categories.
This is like a George Carlin bit.
Yeah,
Didn't
I
he-
think they like alluded to that in the like comments below, but they said that they were unsure who had like coined this whole joke about the word fuck.
Yeah, because George Carlin would do this whole thing, and he'd be like, he'd rhyme off a bunch of stuff about it real quick.
Yeah.
About like what.
Yeah, and I think maybe the whole idea here is that God was kind of like used to describe many attributes or things about reality, and now how you've pulled God out of there now and you've replaced it with this word.
Yeah, I'm trying to like break it down so I can say something about this significant, but I mean, sometimes maybe things need to be sort of simple. It's like whether God is real or whether God is a man-made idea. If what does the idea of God do to people? Sometimes it makes people go to war. Sometimes it makes people behave themselves. Whatever it does, if you take that out.
Yeah.
So if what believing in God was doing was making people keep it together because they didn't want to go to hell, when you remove that, why wouldn't they break all those rules that you just established were wrong? Why wouldn't they? If there's no cosmic consequence, well, it's like, well, government and science and all this stuff supplanted that. Maybe that's the thinking.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
People are more intelligent. They did away with the idea of God, but now you've got institutions and laws instead, right?
Yeah.
Like you've just taken the mystical out of it and you've brought it down to this level.
And he even said you're taking it from one extreme down to another extreme. Maybe a place of like control and rules and understanding, and down to a place of nothingness, like maybe complete hedonism. I don't know. Maybe that's why he chose the word, the F word. But
if you'll notice, things have gotten a little more crass over the years, right? Like even in the news, every now and then I'll be like, "That's a bunch of shit." It's like you would not have seen that when we were kids on the news, but it, I'm baffled by what public television says is okay versus what they say is not okay. And this is, so many people have talked about this already. I'm not going to say too much, but just the idea that it's like, you can't show love making, you can't show intimacy and stuff like that, but you can show somebody shot in the head. Like, I understand why you would keep certain private things out of the, just anybody being able to see, but why the why is this other thing okay? And why is it still, you can't just say fuck on network news? Like, why is that, what you can't do? Yeah. But again, I didn't make that point. I didn't come up with that. That's been referenced. Yeah.
Well, let's keep it going, Osho.
It can be used as a verb, both transitive. John fucked Mary, and intransitive, Mary was fucked by John. And as a noun, Mary is a fine fuck.
Jeez.
It can be used as an objective. Mary is fucking beautiful.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Osho is like the Axl Rose of gurus. Like he's a wild man. Yeah. And there was so much controversy in his life that there's a good documentary called Wild Wild Country where you see that. He was breaking the mold, in my opinion, in a lot of ways. I think his followers and his commune, they were sexually open, and he knew a lot about a lot of different religious things and spiritual things and all that, but he was like a kind of a mold breaker. Yeah. It'd be like he would go a different direction with things. Yeah. Yeah.
He was like not afraid to question, certain things, not afraid to question the sacred.
Yeah. And in some ways, not in some ways, he's a one of a kind. There's even since then, I think that there's probably gurus that would swear now, you know what I mean? Yeah. Say a swear word or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know that there was any guru like that before. Yeah. To that extreme that was in the public eye.
And I can't think of anyone like him now. Like even now. He's an interesting character.
Yeah.
As you can see, there are not many words with the versatility of fuck. Besides the sexual meaning, there are also the following uses. Ignorance, fucked if I know.
He's totally serious faced.
I know.
Trouble, I guess I'm fucked now. Fraud, I got fucked at the used car lot. Aggression, fuck you. Displeasure, what the fuck is going on here? Difficulty, I can't understand this fucking job. Incompetence, he is a fuck off.
His followers are losing it.
Suspicion,
Sounds like a stand-up
what
comedy
the fuck
show.
are you doing? Enjoyment, I had a fucking good time. Request, get the fuck out of here. Hostility, I'm going to knock your fucking head off. Greeting, how the fuck are you?
Jeez.
Apathy, who gives a fuck? Innovation, get a bigger fucking hammer. Surprise, fuck, you scared the shit out of me. Anxiety, today is really fucked. And it is very healthy too. If every morning you do it as a transcendental meditation, just when you get up, first thing, repeat the mantra, fuck you 5 times. It clears your throat too.
Look at his face.
You ever smoked weed and watched Osho?
You look like he was high in the last second there. Hey.
Yeah, like you get into a weird place. Give it a
Oh
try.
my gosh, Osho. Again, you know, that goes good with the last video that we did because I think his shtick is like always trying to get you to think.
Well, let's think about that for a sec. What was the point? Because he really drove that home. I mean,
Yeah.
the people that were there, maybe you had to be there because they were like losing it, you know. and I guess, you know, it is funny, right? But
Yeah.
what was he really trying to? What was the point he was trying to drive home about saying? Was he just being funny, or was he?
I don't know. It seemed like it was trying to say something because the beginning, I think, was the most important thing about like, oh, you're going to get rid of God, your idea of God. Well, what are you going to replace it with? And then look at and then I think he came up with something very nonsensical, something really stupid. And look at what we've done with it, which is some word that we spew all over the place for everything, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, what do you...
You know what's funny about life is, like, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, it just popped in my head, but that you drift from states of certainty to uncertainty, right?
Yeah.
And say you believe in God and you're like grounded and, you know, you're positive in that way and you're certain. And then something happens and you get some cognitive dissonance and now you're kind of in uncertain waters, you know?
Yeah.
You ever experience, you know what I'm talking about?
Definitely.
You drift from certainty to uncertainty. And it just reminded me of that because you're saying he's talking about God and the idea of like the society structuring thing. And then like when you take that away, fuckity fick fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And where is
Yeah.
where are we now? You know, and you gotta like reorient yourself. Maybe that's, you know, maybe that was part of it, is like, I'm gonna throw this craziness at you and you get it together, bitch.
Yeah. Or and it could be something as simple as maybe you should not be getting rid of the idea of God so easily.
Yeah.
You know, don't get, you know, there's a reason why things are sacred and stand the test of time, and that idea is there. So, you know, maybe don't just throw that away.
And
There's
I liked
something there.
I liked that you put the little disclaimer at the beginning of this, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's something that we should do with all our spiritual videos going forward, is if it's going to involve a guru or something, just say, maybe we could put something on the screen. But the point I'm saying is, I think what we're trying to do here is is look at these things and maybe bring some levity to it. Look at it from the viewpoint of some normal people. We've talked about this before, but oftentimes it's like, this was a lighthearted one. Sometimes there's serious thing, and it's like we're playing with spiritual plutonium. You know, we're like, you know, we want to make something good out of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's dicey waters sometimes.
Oh yeah.
And you're along with us for the ride, but bear with us, because we are trying to get into the right zone. That's the last serious thing I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
No, that's a good thing. Probably a good way to end this video on. If you like this video, folks, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend, and everybody, until next time, stay spiritual.